I'm going to show you how to make a smash cake. It has no refined sugars in it, so it's super healthy. It can be for your kid, or it could be for you if you're on a health kick.
Hello! Right guys, so if you watch our recent episode, I have spent the past few days working a recipe to make a smash cake. So a smash cake is usually for kids, it crumbles very easily, they can eat it, but I'm making a smash cake that has no refined sugars. So if you're on a health kick, this is perfect for you. I've managed to work out that using mango to give that little bit of sweetness is all you really need. I'm no expert baker, but I want everything to be perfect for Danteo. So I've made 6 cakes so far. So this is my 7th, so this should be perfect. And these are my terrible notes over a bill that I had on the side. Should we get going? So before we get started, put your oven on 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. Ideally, you wouldn't do fan assisted because actually having a heat at the top and the bottom is better for the rising of a cake, or that's what I read. So if you've got the option to have it heated at top and bottom, do that. But if it's fan, I'm sure it'll work as well. This recipe will make 3 5-inch cakes. So triple tier. We managed to get 12 of these from Amazon for super cheap. So we'll link these in our description. So if you're a new parent like us, you want to do everything possible to make sure your child is perfect. So we are avoiding sugars with him until he's at least 2-3 years old. And that's why we started looking into a perfect birthday cake for him that he can eat every single bit and we won't feel guilty. So this is why we came up with this smash cake that has no refined sugars. Now, we did find a recipe off the internet and they used banana, but we felt it just wasn't sweet enough. And they also introduced maple syrup. Now we're trying to avoid maple syrup as well. We just want you to use sugars from the fruits rather than anything else. We know maple syrup is pretty good. So with the porridge oats, I've already ground them up, so they're in a nice kind of smooth texture like this, so it's almost like flour. So we've got porridge oats, I need to weigh that out, and all we're mixing with it is baking powder, a tiny bit of salt, because we don't want to introduce too much salt because he's still quite young. That's it. So I'm just going to mix them 3 together, and that's my dry ingredients, and then I'll make my wet ingredients. So I'm just using half a teaspoon of salt. I want to look like a professional, but I'm not. So something happens with the salt that's pretty good. So I'm putting it in. Baking powder, 2 teaspoons. Mix it in, and that's the dry ingredients ready. You make it in 2 separate bowls, dry ingredients, wet ingredients. So this is going to have butter, eggs, and vanilla. And then we're also going to add in the mango. So we're going to make the wet ingredients. I've tried it with melted butter and I've tried it with just soft room temperature butter and it was exactly the same. So rather than make the effort of putting it in to heat up and stuff like that, it's easier doing it like this. How much do I need? I need 170 grams. So when I last made this cake, it took me about 10-15 minutes. It probably took me longer to put the greaseproof paper in the tin than it did to make the actual cake. Right, so we've got the butter in, eggs, we've got 4 eggs. I've gone for organic eggs. We pick organic just because we like organic for our child, whilst we'll just get the normal stuff for us. But yeah, priorities. We did used to have our own chickens, so them hens produce the best eggs. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Before I add the mango, I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit. Anyone that knows KitchenAid, they know it's the biggest investment you'll ever do. It's the most expensive appliance out there. Regrettably, I bought mine about 10 years ago and I bought it in orange and I don't like the color anymore, but I just couldn't get rid of it. So if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you can use any other type of mixer or just mix it by hand like old school. Right, mango, let's cut into it. These are very, very ripe, so they are as sweet as they could possibly be. So, Moja told me that I don't open a mango the right way, so he's told me I need to peel it. I usually just peel with my hand all the way around, and then it gets rid of that thicker layer on the outside as well. Everyone's gonna be like, why are you doing your mangoes like this? I'm gonna chop it up fine because it will never blend perfectly. So I want all these little small pieces to really soften up when it's in the oven. My hands are so sticky. While it's still moving, I'm gonna put in the mango. Now that's mixed into the wet ingredients, I'm gonna slowly fold in the dry ingredients, and it's gonna make a lovely cake consistency. Mixture's done, now let's get it into the cake tins. The openable cake tins are the best because you're less likely to get all your mixture stuck. You can easily get the cake out without damaging it. It's got a removable base. I always line them, greaseproof paper, a little bit of butter, and then we pour it in the mixture about halfway because we're gonna take account that it's gonna rise a little bit as well. Once you've got the cake in the cake tins, I put it in the middle of the oven and then bake for around 28 to 32 minutes. That's the sort of time that works out perfectly. But always test it with a spike just to see if it is cooked in the center. So once the cake is done and it's cooled down perfectly, and just before serving, we'll do the icing, which we're using Greek yogurt. Now, I already learned this recently that if it says Greek style yogurt, it's not Greek yogurt, it's just like it. Make sure it says Greek yogurt on it. Right, now for the fun part where we get to dress it and put it all together. So what I'm gonna first do is I'm gonna get this yogurt. I've tried it both ways. You can either just use the yogurt like this and put it on, or you can use a cheesecloth to get rid of excess moisture so it gets a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna do that because I want it as thick as possible. And then I'm gonna make a puree with the raspberries that we have grown in our garden. So first up, I'm gonna put the Greek yogurt into the cheesecloth to drain out any additional moisture. And then you'll see, look at that moisture, all that moisture coming out. This is what it looks like when you take the moisture out. Oh. Very icing-like, isn't it? It's the same. And now to do the jam layer, which will solely be made out of raspberries. Always the age-old question with scones, which goes first, the jam or the cream? Even in this scenario, it's the jam first and then the cream after. What I learned before was don't put too much yogurt in the middle layers because it all squeezes out after. Right, so next. I mean, I could definitely have got away with just doing 2 layers, but I like to be a little bit extra for our child. I'm going to top it with 1 little strawberry. How does that look? Not bad, hey? And just like that, we have a smash cake for our little one that will crumble perfectly and be sweet enough that we can have a little bit as well.